If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mustafa Ammar, coming back to my show. He was on You Inspired, now Zen Success. Mustafa is an author and the founder of the Passion MBA, where he is a speaker and consultant for individuals and corporations around the world. He is truly a global citizen who's lived on 5 continents and speaks 7 languages. In addition, he has enjoyed success in several fascinating fields. He is the author of Time to Move On and The Passion Project. Build the career that you were born to have and find your life purpose. Welcome back, Mustafa.
Thank you, Carissa. It's really nice to come back to your show and speak to you again. Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell me about your latest book, Time to Move On. Was it recently released, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, Time to Move On was recently released, like 5-6 weeks ago. And it's the product of, suffering in my career transitions and trying to bust a few of those myths that I really believed in the past. And I thought maybe I could help people who are want to change their careers, want to reinvent themselves in many ways. So I believe the first step to help those people is to unstuck them through busting some of those myths. Because if you still believe in those myths, I think it's really very hard to unstuck yourself. But once you start busting them and learn how to bust them, then I think it's very easy for them to do so.
Yeah. And maybe some of those myths we've been brainwashed from our family, from society. I mean, did you ever feel like when you were working in these jobs that people were judging you, like, who are you? And I thought you were this, and now you're doing this, and now,
Actually, 100%. And the first myth in the book, and it's actually the most preferred one, to my heart, the closest to my heart, is the supreme specialist myth. So we grew up, whether, a school system, our families, relatives, people around us, we have to conform to choose one specialization and stick to that all our life. And if you go away from that path that is drawn to you, then you are a loser, you're a failure,
Yeah,
so
it's true.
Really hard.
I mean, it's also, it could be cultural too.
I totally agree. I grew up believing in this. I grew up believing if I had to change, and even when I was changing my first transition, my second transition, I was still believing in that. I was still believing like, oh my God, I'm changing. And then people will look at me as a failure. I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting, and all of this is a sunk cost. So all of this is a waste of time and energy and effort and all of that. But then after a few career transitions, I learned it the other way. Is actually, unless you manage to go through different experiences and manage to have, different experiences that you can connect together, you really need to change your perspective and to see your life and, your career from that experience is completely different from having one single perspective of things.
So it could be even better because, even if you're specialized, maybe if you try a different career or a different type of business or start a different business, you could come back to that and then have a more holistic point of view.
100%. And there are a lot of, whether you specialize or, you become generalist, or this discussion has been always there for, forever. But experience taught me that if you over specialize in one place, the possibilities and probabilities of going extinct is huge. Because what if, through whatever, AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning, or in general, any change that happened to your industry, what if your industry goes extinct? What will happen to you? So unless you have different other experiences in life, and unless you have different other options, you have more control of the options that you have, you will have a hard time, changing.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting that you bring up AI because I worked in tech as a consultant and Google, Facebook, and all of that. And a lot of my friends were part of the layoffs. Yeah. And I always thought it was a no-brainer, like, oh, be a computer programmer, you write your ticket. And in fact, like recruiters, I mean, sometimes these people were getting paid like $500,000 just to sign on, like new programmers. They were hard to find, a good programmer. Yeah. And now all of a sudden it's like these big companies, they're like, oh, wait a second, we can automate this. Yes. We can use AI, we can use robots. So I thought that I was brainwashed too. I was like, oh yeah, that's like top echelon in tech is being a programmer. So what do you think about that? Yes. Because that kind of happened recently.
Yeah, I would share a very interesting study that was done in University of Pennsylvania on ophthalmologists. So students who are studying, to be future doctors, they divide them into two halves. The first half, they did that very traditional way of education. In the second half, they give them a bit of time going out to museums, study a bit of art, rather than just studying, medicine.
Oh, I love that study. That's so cool.
Very interesting. And then they follow up with them, years later. And they found that the second part excelled more in their profession than the first, one. So than the traditional way. So there are many, many, many data that support the argument that even if you want to specialize in one career and you love your job or you want to do it forever, it's good to go around that, go out of that a bit, did a bit of experience in, somewhere else, because you can be better at what you're doing through doing something else out of that expertise.
And is that like if something else is a really using another part of your brain, like the right hemisphere, like being more creative or painting, like this study, that can even activate something even more with you or a whole new business or career.
100%. And I call this in my book, I call it career shapeshifter. So as a career shapeshifter, shapeshifting as mythology, it's a being who is able to change his or her form, identity several times. So it's a bit connected to immortality,
Yeah.
So the same applies.
And I think about shaman, like being spiritual. I think about shamans and shapeshifting into animals,
Exactly. And the same applies to your career. If you have a bit of experience in two or more expertise or domains or industries, you're able to shift your career, your life in many different ways. And I would just add to your point on being more innovative, for example. If you over specialize in one career, you don't have the other experience out of that circle. While if you have a few of those circles around and you're able to, bring, we call it analogical thinking, bring an experience from somewhere else and try to apply on this, you become more innovative. Also, you can easily transfer your skills. I'll just give you an example. Like I specialize in pharmacy and chemistry for 5 years of my life. Then I moved to diplomacy after that. So I thought that's a sunk cost. So I'm gonna, lose that for all my life. So it's a waste of life, a waste of time, waste of energy. I'm not going to use that, right? So that until I went to China and started studying Chinese. So I did full-time Mandarin for 1 year. And I did study Chinese there. I didn't have any clue why reading and writing Chinese for me was super easy, very easy from day one. I didn't have one single problem in that.
Oh my God. Maybe in a past life that you were Chinese, because that's amazing. I mean, kanji is like the hardest language to learn because it's like pictures and it's like they all look the same to me. And you just add one line, it's a completely different meaning. So I'm impressed.
Exactly. It's like drawing pictures,
Yeah.
and it's really not easy. My problem in the language was speaking, because Chinese has tones, you have 4 tones, and any other language I used to speak or I still speak is very completely different. I don't have tones in my language. English doesn't have tones. So what happened is reading and writing was super easy. I focused on speaking, pronunciation until I got it well. And I didn't know why reading and writing was easy for me until many years later, when I understood more about analogical thinking. So, and I can claim that my organic chemistry, my expertise in organic chemistry helped me to read and write Chinese very well. And I will just give you this clue. Organic chemistry, when you draw the compound, it's from left to right. There is a logic from up, down. The endings has meanings, has an effect in the medicine. While on the other side, Mandarin, you draw from left to right, from up to down. Also, endings have meanings. So what happened is that unconsciously, I drove back my experience in organic chemistry, the ability to have a visualized memory, and I learned Chinese very quickly. So everyone can apply this in many different ways, can bring an expertise, a skill from the past, learn a new skill very quickly.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. So what's a clue that I know some people don't have a choice to move on from their careers. They're let go of. I was just interviewing someone yesterday. I had a tech sales job, software as a service tech. And she was super excited actually, because maybe she wasn't ready to move on because the salary was so good, but she was forced. But how do you know like when it's time to move on?
Well, there are a lot of those signs. And one of them, for example, if you find yourself in a career plateau and that lasts a bit longer than 6 months, like if sometimes it happens for other reasons, but if it happens for a bit longer, then you start questioning why this is happening. Maybe it's not only because the environment, maybe it's not only because my boss or my new team or whatever, a change in the corporate that I am in. So if according to, your passions, if your passion is shifting a bit and you're starting noticing that you lack some passion for what you're doing, then it's time to explore, that new passion, where your passions are shifting or why they are changing.
And that's why you're an expert in that. You have the passion MBA business. And
exactly.
And that's
exactly. And then exactly. And the passion itself is fine, but it's not enough. You need the blueprint for that passion, because some of those passions can be only hobbies, right? To running or building a business around your passions or finding a new career around your passion requires blueprints, requires to know that these passions can be skills that you monetize them, whether in a business or a new career or so. They are in line with your values. They are helping you to get to an ideal lifestyle where you want to be, for example, 5 years from now. So there is a process. If you manage to minimize your top passions to top 3, for example, and then build that blueprint, find the values that are connected with them, and then build a roadmap, then you are on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. That happened to me, and it was kind of like a gradual change. I worked in corporate doing ergonomics, and I had a software too, and worked with a lot of big companies. And I just found my passion was dying. I still liked helping people and companies. I had an interest in it, but I wasn't passionate about it like I used to be. And then I gradually got into podcasting and like speaking and working one-on-one with clients. But I feel like I'm still evolving, and so I have this interest in healing. And so now I'm thinking about another business surrounding that, dealing with healing and arts. So I'm still kind of like a work in progress, I would say.
Exactly. You said the word I wanted to say, which we are always work in progress, right?
Okay.
So we're always exploring ourselves, right? In many different ways.
I mean, if we're healthy, we're exploring, right? If we have a healthy relationship to our career or our passions. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Carissa, yourself, looking back at your expertise, your experiences, you are the sum of all those experiences. You are becoming in the future the sum of the future experiences, beside your past. So nothing is going extinct, nothing is disappearing from your life. Even if you still love, your previous job or previous career, you are reinventing it in many different ways. You are still reusing it and recycling it in many different ways. But you're evolving. That's the thing, that you're having a podcast, talking to many different people. You're exploring other things, focusing a bit on mental health, mindfulness. And then I still use my tech experience. I still have my connection. So it's an evolution. It's good to have it going on rather than just sticking to one thing and, fearing of change, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed that I will have a little bit of fear, and sometimes a lot of fear in starting a new venture. Like, oh my gosh, maybe I didn't spend enough time on this one. I didn't put enough energy into this one. So I guess that's a little bit of the entrepreneurial mindset, getting bored with something.
Yes.
But anyway, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's part of the journey. So I would share with you right now, I'm in my 5th career life. I'm starting while I'm doing still my coaching and I'm writing books.
Yeah, because that's how you make your money.
So I'm learning a lot.
And you're doing a tech startup too. Oh my God. See, you're amazing. Right up my alley. You want to talk about it, or is it secret?
Of course. Okay. I would love to share that because it's also a part of the journey. Like, you are learning a bit more about yourself, what you can do in the future. And then also you can capitalize on your expertise in the past. So I've been working on my coaching business, the Passion MBA, for more than 3 years already. And things were in a very, very good path. Traction was very, very good. And I was able to serve hundreds. And I thought, if you're able to serve hundreds of people, and then looking at, what is happening right now in the world, for example, an economic trend like the Great Resignation, where in the US, for example, last year, 2022, you have more than 50 million people left their jobs willingly without alternative. Like, it's really
wow.
scary.
That's an amazing statistic. It's like, how do they get that statistic? It's like the companies maybe say, oh yeah, they left on their own free will.
Yeah, I mean, following it for 3 years since the pandemic, it's happening month by month. Every single month. Only in the US, you have 3 to 5 million people leaving their jobs. Mm-hmm. And if in 2020 was around, I think, 30 million people. 2021, 47 point something million. 2022, 50 million, 50.5 million. And it's still, picking up. I looked at these trends. I found it also in other markets. I found it in the UK, in Italy, in the rest of Europe, even in India and China. So looking from my perspective, if I'm able to help hundreds of people through my coaching business, there must be a way to scale that service, and I think the only way is to build a tech startup, is to have that.
Yeah, you got
place,
it.
Right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
And automate that service. Exactly. And it's one platform is not enough. Like, I think we need actually 100 platforms to help those millions of people who are stuck in their careers and not able to reinvent themselves. So I'm now in the process of, building my own startups. And that's why right now I'm in Italy. I'm joining one of the startup incubators, very foremost ones in Europe. I'm in the process of designing that, multi-sided platform, building it, So it's a very interesting journey and a lot of fears, like sometimes I ask myself, what the hell I'm doing to myself? I'm fine with whatever, my book, my coaching business. Why am I doing
exactly.
so?
Yeah,
right?
so true. But what brought, so you're in Italy doing this startup. Do you just love
Right
Italy?
now, yeah. It's somehow I'm going with the flow. It's really cool to sometimes going with the flow. So I had a few startup incubators that I was working with, some in the US, some in the UK, some in Europe. And that one in Italy was very interesting one because you have the opportunity to meet other co-founders. You have a very structured, path over 6 months to build it, find investors and talk to. It's really very interesting. So I thought, okay, why not? Move to Italy, start doing that, and then let's see the next step.
Oh my God, you have such an adventurous heart. It's amazing. Good for you.
It's not easy every time. It's like boom, 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 boom. But at the same time, it's like, okay, why not? You see some signs along the path, you follow the signs, do it. And then, let's see what will happen after that.
Wow, that's amazing. What part of Italy are you in?
I'm currently in Turin, so it's northwest of Italy. And Turin is like the tech hub in Italy. It's very close to Milan.
Oh, to Milan. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's amazing. Yeah. I have a friend, a family that's there right now on vacation. They're not doing a startup, and on a little island off of Sicily, like the bright blue ocean and everything. So I'm sure there's so much inspiration and creativity too that's coming to you just being there. Do you think?
I agree. And I'm also learning a lot about having a balance in my life. And being in Italy is like, I think it's the right place to learn how to have a balance between your work and your life, enjoying your life.
There's such a model for that, right? Because they close down the shops, have a nap or a siesta or something. I don't know. What do they call it?
Exactly. And also I keep traveling more often. Like I just came back from another city, from Genoa, a couple of hours ago. Like I was talking to you, like just coming here, you were talking. So I've been traveling for 3 hours. Like that's part of life. It's you learn to enjoy more while you're still doing your hard work and learn how to be very focused. Like if I have to work for 3 focus hours and then enjoy for another couple of hours, that's a very interesting lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that you recognize that you could learn from the culture in Italy about that work-life balance. And so that's incredible. So I'm going to ask you a personal question. Are you in a relationship? Are you married? Do you have kids, or are you single? Because it seems like you're single living this life like this.
No, I just got married, so I'm starting. I'm starting.
Oh my God! Congratulations! You surprised me. I love this interview. Oh my God, this is like a roller coaster ride. Oh my God! Congratulations! So, how long were you engaged before you got married?
Sorry, I lost your voice.
How long were you engaged? How long did you know each other before you got married?
Not really long. It's a very interesting story, and we met last year and got married a couple of months back, and we moved to Italy. So it's kind of again not planning a lot. Because life, I experience like it's good to have a plan, but it's also good to be open to change those plans because they will always change.
Oh my God. And is she happy? Does she love Italy? Are you guys like loving it?
She's actually Italian. That's actually
that works out.
She's actually
beautiful. Oh my God. And you guys are gonna you want to have children someday?
I would love to. I would love to.
Okay.
It's part of me. I love kids, and I would love to have kids. So hopefully in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, that's going to be such an amazing journey, and you're such an incredible role model for kids and,
Thanks.
your own kids and everything. Okay.
The
Yeah,
idea
go
is
ahead.
to be open and learn, over time, because it's really not easy to, man, like growing up, I was a very shy kid, very introverted, but then slowly, if you build that open mindset and you learn slowly to go, if you have a comfort zone, learn first to start, playing around that circle, the boundaries of your comfort zone. Slowly, every single day, do one small action that, help you to go around. And then life opens up. I'm really happy and grateful to, those opportunities that came to me and changed my life. And I'm also grateful to being an open-minded a bit, because I didn't say no when a sign or a message that came to me. And I go back now to my life, and I thought I was a diplomat at some point, and then a message came to me to move to work in banking. And if I was closed-minded, I would say, oh, no. I'm fine with my job. I'm fine with my career. But then I said, let's see, not sure. Then slowly, you get a lot of those messages along the way that helps you, to find your way. So, yeah.
I mean, it's just feels so dramatic since the last time we spoke, like your calmness, your sense of peace, your sense of joy. I have to tell you, I see all of that transform within you. Do you know that within this past couple of years?
It's really good to hear that from you. It's really good, because it's really not easy to see it from inside, because I'm always inside. I try to go out a bit, zoom out, and look at my life in many different ways. But even if I am in a very critical part of my life, like this challenge of building an online platform, I have hopefully a dream to help millions of people. So it's very critical. Then also it's connected to a charity. I think I told you last time, I dream to help 1 million orphans to dream about their life. So I'm putting always that in front of myself, hopefully in a couple of years or so. Like even $1 of every book sold of Time to Move On will go to help those kids to dream about their lives. So seeing that and seeing all those challenges, but at the end of everything is like I'm fulfilled, like because I'm pursuing all those dreams. If today is the last day of my life, I'm fine, because I tried my best. I did my best. I'm fulfilling all those purposes. So it's good. If I manage to get some of them, then why not? It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get that. I get that progression of how you worked with hundreds of people, and you just felt like, how can I scale my knowledge for so many other people to help others, and then so you can give back to these orphans and everything. It's really inspiring.
Thank you, Clarissa. And also the vision, Clarissa. The vision is like, and you see the problem is really big. And as you said before earlier today, is like, if not many people are able to help those millions of people that are stuck in their careers, there must be a way to do that. And let's see. I mean, I don't have anything to lose, but I'm learning every single day to build that. And I'm very enjoying that moment. So
yeah. It's really interesting too. And I'm sure you're going to realize this when you work with startups, is that it's hard to find employees because they're wanting to do what you recommend, find their passion and leave their careers. And so it's kind of like this dichotomy, like, okay, we're trying to build our economy and hire people. And, I have employees also. And it's like, are they really going to be loyal to you? So then there's a whole remote staffing that is needed. And I interviewed someone recently because people are kind of figuring out, wait a second, I have a life to live. There's something else I want to do. What do you think about that? You have a startup, so you might be thinking about that.
I totally agree, and it's a journey of learning. Like I'm learning a lot how to build my team, how to find the right co-founder. So I've been almost for a year and a half trying to find the right co-founder. Until recently, I found my co-founder. We're very good terms. So also waiting to the right moment to find the right hire, and keep searching for the right hire, keep searching for the right co-founder, and then also
being patient for that. Yeah.
Being patient was really crucial. Also, how to build your corporate culture on the right one. Like what is the end goal, and how to align yourself with the co-founders, with your team on the right thing from the beginning. How to think scaling from day one. How to think branding from day one. So it's very interesting journey of learning every single day. Your value proposition, your business model, it's too many interesting things. And being in that, growth stage is really interesting. Like it's not only about me, it's about, I'm learning a lot to add value. We as a team, we are growing to add value. We are bringing the right people to add value. So very interesting journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you want people to live their passions and live their best life because that's what you preach, but then you want them to work for your company too. So hopefully that's in alignment, as you build.
Exactly.
Well,
I came back to the balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, last question. What is Zen success to you?
That's a very good question. Well, I think success is to compare yourself today with yesterday, and see how much were you able to progress. It's very harmful to compare yourself to any person around you. And I think if you manage to see yourself where you were yesterday and where you are today, and having a bit of a plan for tomorrow, and want to see yourself progressing, I think that's the thing. That mindset helped me a lot in very tough times. Transitioning my career, comparing yourself to other people is so harmful. So I had to realign myself, focus on myself, and say, what do you want from this? What you really want. 1, 2, 3. Okay, as long as I'm aligning myself to all those goals, and then I'm comparing myself every single day to my yesterday self, and I see the progress, I shouldn't care about anything else. I shouldn't put a lot of pressure on myself. I just keep, disciplining myself. So to everybody, just stick to a bit of a plan, keep progressing every single day, build some good habits, read about the things that you want to learn, because I found that if I want to learn about AI, I just need to do a bit of readings here and there every single day. And if I was able to do that for the last year and a half, and I'm able to do that for how long in the future, I can call myself a bit of an expert in that. And I can use that expertise in what I'm doing and link it with chemistry, link it with Chinese, link it with any other skill I had in the past as well.
Wow, that's so cool. It's been such a pleasure reconnecting and hearing about your latest book, Time to Move On, and about you getting married and living in Italy. And I'll put your website and how to order your books in the show notes. And you got to keep us posted on this new venture so we can support you and join. So thanks for being on my show today, Mustafa.
Thank you so much, Carissa. It's always nice to connect and talk to you. You're such an amazing host, very, very open, and I enjoy so much conversation with you. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay, well, have a blessed day. Take care.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to ZenSuccessShow.com to help you on your Zen success journey and join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.